was looking at a research study that maps out the connections between your brainstem, and which is all these cranial nerve things we do, that feed into your brainstem: the tongue circles, the vision drills, the balance drills, the facial muscle exercises. We do all that stuff. All that goes into your brainstem, and your brainstem has connections they've mapped out now in the last year or so. They branch out to nearly every part of your brain. And your brain is responsible for regulating, of course, your whole body and your movements and your thoughts and your emotions. So when you can get good information flowing into your brainstem through your senses, through your cranial nerves, that's like the fertilizer for growing your crop. Whatever you're cultivating, it grows in the soil of your brainstem, basically. And what lies there is your breath, your vision, your tongue movements, your swallowing, your jaw movements, your, again, head movements, neck movements, eyebrow movements. All that stuff is the soil that everything else that your body does is growing in. So cultivating that soil, fertilizing it, if you want to use this kind of metaphor, that's one of the key things that I want to emphasize as for why we do these things we do, from my perspective anyway. And so just start with some shoulder, or go next. We've already started to go to some shoulder blade movements. So there is still a cranial nerve connection here. The muscles along your neck that lift your shoulders and move your head. They're opposite ends of the same kinds of connections. Those feed into your brainstem. So the shoulders up, the neck up. You often hear "get out of your head," but the more you can get in your head as a foundation, that is your body. And so I like to emphasize that. It gets short shrift if it gets any shrift at all. Do some head movements now, neck movements. And so there, maybe your head and neck movements are kind of growing out of your shoulder position. So you can tie them in, as well as your eye movements. And your eye movements, they feed into all these areas of your brain, these little networks and neurons clusters that are in your brainstem back there. They branch out to so many parts of yourself that can be improved in their function by all this working better, but especially your eyes. So let's do some of our eye circles. If you've got a target you want to look at, you can grab that. It can be your finger, as you know. Just do some big circles out there. So your heart rate, your blood pressure, your respiratory rates, your metabolism, your sleep cycles and circadian rhythms, all those things, just they flow from there, really. It's one reason I called that course, little cranial nerve course I have, self-study course, 12 keys to unlocking yourself, 12 pairs of cranial nerves. And when you can get those really fired up and sending good information into those areas, into that soil of your consciousness, basically, that, I think that it is a way of thinking of unlocking yourself. All right, good. Let's do some deliberate breathing. You can close your eyes if you like, and maybe you lengthen your breath on the inhale, the exhale, or both. You can slow it down even as you lengthen it, stretch it out. Just all these voluntary patterns of breath that you can do. They are a way to kind of power this loop of information and energy flow from your brainstem from the root to the flower. Think of it like that. And then the seed that gets planted again for the continued cycle of consciousness. The unconscious or the subconscious to the conscious and back down.